Hey, what's up? This is Robert DeLong, and you're watching BestFan.com. Just Movement was an album I wrote over about 2 or 3 years. Kind of started writing it right after I graduated college, which was 2008, 2009. And it kind of started out as sort of a indie songwriter, kind of electronic album, but it wasn't really dancey at all. And then kind of as I started playing shows over time and writing more songs, I really saw that the whole dance vibe made a lot of sense. As a drummer, I felt like I could really connect with that whole thing. It was definitely a time of searching or whatever, And as silly as that sounds, I mean, it's definitely, I think that's kind of where the introspective, lyrical element comes through in the album. And but yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I think the album is pretty, coherent from start to finish. It's like, it kind of thematically makes sense, and it all kind of ties together, because it all kind of came out of the same, time and place in my life. I mean, the album definitely, I feel like, plays from start to finish in a very, it all connects, and there's a lot of lyrical themes and, lyrics that are repeated throughout the album and kind of connected in that way. And, the bookends of the album are kind of the same song, but kind of, rehashed. So yeah, definitely the album, I think, makes a lot of sense to listen straight through, but I think a lot of those songs hopefully could stand alone on their own. As far as musically, it's like, I grew up in Seattle, so I have a lot of that kind of indie songwriter kind of Seattle vibe that I picked up on. And then, beyond that, I also, living in LA, kind of being in the whole electronic scene there, and, I go out to a lot of electronic events, and that's kind of where I glean a lot of my inspiration for kind of the way I'd mess with dance music and the whole thing there. As I started experiencing a lot of kind of, I guess house music and stuff, it really kind of changed my perspective, because I grew up in kind of the gloomy Seattle scene, and I think that comes through a lot too, all the kind of Dave Bazan, Jeremy Enoch, that kind of vibe. But I think that the whole electronic dance music scene kind of really, it kind of came together, and just I think that it just made a lot of sense for people who were ready for I don't know, sort of that visceral dance party thing. I think for a long time, a lot of pop music and whatnot was, I said, more gloomy and kind of more that kind of thing, and I think people were sort of ready for the next wave of that. And I think that too, we'd through pop music, hip hop and stuff, people in North America had kind of finally become accustomed to all the sounds of electronic music, and then so when the kind of full like house wave came through, it really, I think people were ready for that, in their ears, and who knows, it's hard to say why anything happens, but